After Iran, it is now Cuba's turn. United States military power is focused on a single point. The perimeter is tightened to the limit. Weapon bolts are chambered. Missiles are fueled, and coordinates have been fed into the guidance systems. This is no longer a diplomatic standoff. It is the systematic activation of a global superpower's strike doctrine. We often speak of war as politics, but here, politics has ended. What remains is the pure mathematics of destruction. The shadow of the American war machine has shifted from the scorching deserts of the Middle East to the turquoise waters of the Atlantic, transforming them into an exclusion zone. Operation Caribbean Shield is not merely a set of maneuvers. It is the moment the United States decided to rewrite the security rules of its hemisphere, and it is doing so in the language of steel. At Naval Station Norfolk, the traditional silence of the night has been replaced by the rhythmic hum of emergency loading. There is no haste here, only cold efficiency. Thousands of tons of munitions vanish into the hulls of ships. This is not just stock. It is a sentence. The logistical foundation of this campaign is built on the idea that resistance is futile, because American resources are effectively infinite. The Vanguard, Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, have already taken their positions. These are not just ships. They are the digital eyes of Washington, capable of seeing through concrete and jungle alike. The Aegis system has created a transparent dome over the Florida Straits. Not a single Cuban patrol boat or radar site can so much as blink without becoming a target for a missile in a fraction of a second. This is total dominance, where the enemy is stripped of the very right to move. While the fleet tightens the noose, the sky over Florida hums with heavy transports. C-5M. Supergalaxies land one after another, and each arrival is another nail in the coffin of the old regime. At Camp Lejeune and Mayport, the very tip of this mechanism is being forged. Here, the U.S. Marine Corps is conducting final rehearsals before turning Cuban beaches into bridgeheads. The essence of these exercises is not in the shooting, but in the coordination. The U.S. is practicing the over-the-horizon strike, the concept that the enemy will not even see the invasion fleet until LCAC hovercraft and tilt-rotor aircraft descend upon them. When the LCACs roar out of the docking wells of the USS Wasp, they carry more than just Abrams tanks. They carry the end of an era. These rehearsals are the final stretch before the leap. The U.S. Marines do not plan to storm fortifications head-on. They plan to fly over them. Viper helicopter strikes and Osprey landings deep in the rear represent a strategy of vertical envelopment. The core idea is simple: to make any coastal defense of Cuba a meaningless pile of scrap metal before the main battle even begins. The tension at the bases has reached its limit. The soldiers know this is not another inspection. It is the calibration of a machine that is about to lurch into motion. While the Marines prepare for the jump, the sky over the island has already been effectively annexed. F-22 Raptors soar there like invisible gods of war. Their mantra is, first look, first kill. Cuban pilots in their aging MiGs will not even understand where the missile came from, because for their radars, the sky is virgin pure. This is the essence of modern supremacy, depriving the enemy of sight and hearing. B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, launching from the mainland, carry the surgical instruments to remove a political tumor. Every strike is calculated. Every building in Havana where the high command sits is already marked in the digital memory of smart bombs. Acting as the conductor of this armada is the F-35. It is the brain of the operation. It links the tanker on the beach, the destroyer captain at sea, and the pilot in the stratosphere into a single nervous system. If an enemy tank moves anywhere on the island, the system knows about it before the tank commander can even issue an order. This is not just a war, it is algorithmic strangulation. On the ground, power is concentrated in the form of the Abrams SEPV-3. These machines are walking fortresses, capable of jamming all enemy communication around them. The idea of the ground phase is not in prolonged battles, but in lightning-fast paralysis. Under the cover of electronic warfare and HIMARS strikes from Florida, American columns are designed to cut the island into pieces. The reality is that Cuba possesses no weapon capable of stopping this iron flow. Every ATACMS rocket launched from Key West flies faster than sound, and more accurately than a sniper. This robs the opponent of the ability to maneuver. Any move out of cover means instant death. While the armor readies its push, the 82nd Airborne Division awaits the signal to seize the airports in a single night. The logic is simple. Cut Cuba off from the world, paralyze its capital, and leave its army without supplies or orders. This is the strategy of shock and awe, perfected. But the most terrifying element of this mechanism is hidden underwater. Ohio-class submarines are the silent judges lurking in the Caribbean trenches. Each carries 154 Tomahawks. The essence of their presence is the ability to strike from nowhere. A single volley from such a boat can erase the island's entire military infrastructure in 15 minutes. Meanwhile, in the gray zone, shadows are already at work, SEALs and Delta Force. Their task is not battle, but sabotage. Severing communication cables, blowing up power grids, eliminating key generals. This is decapitation. When the main phase begins, Cuba must not only be weak, it must be blind and helpless. Above the cities, psychological warfare aircraft already circle, broadcasting on all frequencies. Resistance is suicide. This is the finale of the strike doctrine. The mobilization is complete. Columns of equipment on Florida highways, aircraft carriers at sea, satellites in orbit, all are parts of one giant press about to descend. Operation Caribbean Shield is not a question of if, but when. The mechanism has been triggered, and there is no turning back. We are monitoring every movement of this steel avalanche. The old regime has run out of time. Subscribe to witness the beginning of the end. Out